Hey Glass Gang, thanks for tuning in. The stream starts soon. Alright, we are ready to begin. How's everyone doing today? I hope you're doing well. I'm on the public test server. And I'll be testing the Elder's Mark. I'll be doing some testing and showing you the differences here. Some changes came to the Elder's Mark on the PTS and it has everyone worried. This is a fan favorite weapon on the channel, so a lot of people use the build. Now the build I'm actually testing today, I have linked in the description below. It is a build that is based on the no coffee, no chems, no problem build. And that build is something that typically I don't use chems or buffs with. And I had to make some changes to that build. You're gonna see what I'm talking about here in a moment. The changes came in the Elder's Mark as far as changes goes. Let me just close my window here because I'm distracted by all the loud cars. Okay, sorry about that. Alright, so the Elder's Mark. Oh, we can't inspect. Oh god. There's so many problems on the PTS right now, like we can't inspect weapons from our weapon wheel. So I'll have to go in the menu here. Okay, so we have Grant's Tenderizer instead of the typical perk that you would see here being the Cursed effect. So what this gave us was additive damage, a little damage boost, and at the cost of weapon durability, but more importantly, it had a higher fire rate. The Elder's Mark had a higher rate of fire than the standard Tommy gun. And I say had because now when we listen to it, you can tell audibly that it's the same. Watch when I shoot the Elder's Mark and pay attention to how it sounds. I'm going to turn off the music here. Alright. Now listen to this other non-Elder's Mark. It's a Tommy gun. This gets confusing. But the non-Elder's version of the Tommy gun used to have a lower fire rate than the Elder's Mark. Now, even with the same mods, it now has the same fire rate. So the Elder's Mark has the same fire rate as the base Tommy gun. The difference is now it comes with Tormentor. So what that does for us is it opens up points on the build. I was able to slide in Number Cruncher to try to get some extra damage here. We don't have a very high AP cost, but I did bring it up a tad bit more. I'll show you what I mean by that. Typically, I use mods on the Elder's Mark to keep the AP cost as low as possible. And we currently see that on the bench, I have an AP cost of 8 instead of an AP cost of 7. So you'll see that under VATS accuracy says AP cost of 8. So what did I change? I have the hardened receiver. So the receiver that you see isn't the standard receiver I'm running. I run standard receiver on the build guide because currently it is the best way for the Elder's Mark to stay in VATS infinitely. With the hardened receiver, unfortunately, it becomes mathematically no longer infinite VATS and requires you to have a very high AP density, an AP pool capable of sustaining it through that 200 round magazine. Now I dare say it's probably not so bad with Furious. I'm going to come out and say that straight up with standard receiver, I'm just not doing enough DPS anymore to cripple the snake at the start of the fight within like the first, before it headbutts me. So I had to go to hardened receiver. And with that, we got a little bit extra base damage. And I'm able to cripple the snake again right before the headbutt strike. And I'm able to bring those times back down to normal. Because before this change, before the change from standard to hardened, I tried it, I tested it, and the snake, I was getting around a minute 30. So, yeah, that's because we lost about 25% fire rate is what that cursed effect was giving us. We had slightly higher fire rate with that cursed effect. So we were landing more shots in the time, which is why we were able to do the DPS to cripple the snake at the start. So now I had to switch it to harden. It's not the end of the world. I do run through my entire AP bar, but with the tweaks I made to the build, I have enough AP regen to just regen it in a matter of seconds, like 1 or 2 seconds, and then keep dumping rounds. You're going to see it's not so bad. It's still around a minute time, completely solo. So it's not terrible, but yes, it has absolutely changed. Will it still be the meta? It'll still be a solid weapon. It's not the meta right now, so I don't think it matters really. It's not. There are more effective weapons than the Elder's Mark currently that get faster times, like the Pepper Shaker. The redoing curse weapons, I'm not following, informed or anything, just saw a random comment somewhere. Can anyone confirm or deny? That's exactly what we're talking about, Master FSK, so check it out. Basically what they did is they removed the cursed effect. Now, instead of cursed effect, it says grants perk tenderizer. Do you see that? Do you see it right under the 4-star effect? It says grants perk tenderizer. That's a perk card on the build. It allows us to open points under the build. So it's not like the end of the world. You do have a specialty with this weapon still. You do have a special perk, but it's not as good as before, for sure. Is it a nerf? Yes, technically, but it's not a substantial one. Like, it doesn't make the weapon unusable. Now, I don't have the ability to use my VATS accuracy buff, which is really unfortunate because I do recommend with the quad rapid version of this weapon to use the accuracy buff. And I don't have it active because I can't activate my camp. PTS is just completely busted right now, and you can't even activate your camps. So if you have one activated, that's the one you have to use, and tough luck, you can't use any other camps. So this camp I have active right now doesn't have my 4-opter buff, so unfortunately my VATS accuracy is going to be lower here than what I would like, and will result in slightly less DPS. Not overall too bad though, so let's just grab some blight. Enter as team leader. What the flip? I don't want to be team leader. Who made me team leader? I don't want to be team leader. I don't want no one following me down here. So if you don't join a team, sorry, if you join a team and you're not the leader, it lets you come into the raid solo, and then if anyone else tries to enter your solo instance, they can't. So just keep that in mind. That's why I always tell you to join a team when you're not the leader, because if you are the leader, people can still enter solo. And if you're trying to do solos, that can be disruptive. Now, I'm not even bloodied here or a ghoul, so times would be better, slightly, by about 5 seconds. But we'll go take it down there and see what it can do. And I'll do a few runs, so I won't actually kill the snake. I'll just get it really close to killing the snake. Let me just put this here and step in my power armor. I will be right back, gang. I might have to reset the instance. I'm not sure. We'll see here in a moment. Sorry for the delay, gang. Just bear with me. Oh, yeah. It reset my instance. Okay, alright. That's too bad. We'll do it then. I'll have to jump in power armor, though, for ENO 6. Hopefully this build is still good to go. I'm not even gonna look at it. I'm just gonna grab my pepper shaker and go for it. And we'll grab some ammo. Let's make sure we have, what is it? Demo expert? Wherever that is. There we go. We got some points open for whatever reason. Shouldn't matter. For the LMG build, you'll want to run limit breaking Palo. Unless you're going to run it aim down sights, no VATS. So I'm just using reflective damage here to drop the shield. It's lazy, but it always works. Look at how efficient the pepper shaker is, though. Look at that AP. It's an infinite AP beast. Alright, so now I'm going to set up the snake. So give me a moment, gang. We'll get this going here. Alright. Well, that's not working anymore. That's strange. I just tested this on the snake and it was working just fine. I was able to get down there. Now I can't. Now I'm not able to reach the snake. So, I don't know. Maybe it's just PTS being PTS. But I can't reach the snake right now. So we're going to try something else. We're going to try getting a team member to port me into the snake. It's absolutely still going to be usable, KMR low. If you want me to just cut right to the chase, I did get a 1-minute time with it, but there are some slight tweaks, so I can still get a 1-minute solo with the Elder's Mark. The main difference is now it doesn't have a high fire rate like before. See how it fires like listen to the fire rate. Alright. Look at the weapon. It has quad and rapid. Now look at this regular submachine. It has quad and rapid. So let's try this one. Listen to the fire rate. It's the same thing. It's the same fire rate now. Elder's Mark used to have like better or higher fire rate because of the cursed effect. Now it doesn't. I'm going to try that. 024694370. Aussies, GG. Oh, oh, my bad. I was muted again. I hate this mic, guys. I used to have a nice mic that would light the whole cone red if I was muted. So I could always tell that I was muted, but then I had to quote unquote upgrade to this mic, and it has a really shitty little mute light that's hard to see, and it's actually hidden most of the time because of how big the freaking mic is. I can't see it, so I do apologize. I end up muted a lot because of it. But anyways, we're gonna set this up, gang. We're about to run a solo snake. Another thing you can do is just use 1 canned coffee if you want. It's all you really need, because I did change the receiver on the Elder's Mark. It now has the hardened receiver to regain some of that lost damage so that we can cripple the snake before the first head strike. Because what's happening with the standard receiver is it's just not enough DPS because we lost that 25% fire rate, and it's just not enough damage with the standard receiver to get the cripple on the snake at the start of the fight before the headbutt. And it just ends up doing things. Video is gone. Yes, video will be back, my guy. I just can't show you how to set this up on stream because of terms of service. So, we're going to be down here in a moment. Here we are. Thank you kindly for your patience, gang. We're ready to begin. So I'm going to start by doing Blight Soup and Company Tea, the usual buffs. And I was thinking, why not try if I have sarsaparillas? I don't. Okay, never mind. I thought it would have been neat to see if it makes a difference, but I do want to start with stacking Bulletstorm, though. That's a tactic that I talk about in my videos, and it's a very important tactic, especially now that we don't have that extra fire rate. What this means is you just fire until you see the stack counter at the bottom right of the screen. See how it's stacking upwards? When it's going up, it brings up the base damage of the weapon. So let's have a look at the weapon right now. We see that it has a base damage of 138. Watch what happens when I reload the weapon. That stack count goes from 6 to 3, and the base damage went down to 121. So we're going to shoot it off again and get that stat counter up to 6 and start with 6 stacks of Bulletstorm. You don't need to do this every time you run the snake. You just have to set this up on your first snake, and then because of the nature of it, because of just shooting bullets and reloading, as long as you don't swap weapons, you won't lose your stacks. You just lose half your stacks when you reload. Did I hear you say a few weeks ago you can substitute slime cake for blight soup? No, I would have never said that. It's not at all the same thing. Alright, 5 is plenty. You can substitute, I probably said you can substitute slime cake for coffee because they are the same buff. But I would only do that if you're a ghoul because it gives you rads and you don't want the rads if you're human. So just keep that in mind. We're not going to use the coffee for this first run, but I do recommend 1 coffee now with this build. Mainly because, like I said, we have a higher AP cost now than what is necessary for infinite VATS on this weapon. We're going to do a few tests. This means I won't actually kill the snake. I'm going to get it close enough to death so that we can tell, okay, we're averaging 1 minute times, but I'm not killing it so that I don't have to set it up every time. Because I want to run the test over and over. I'm going to make changes. I'm going to put Furious on the weapon, test it with Furious, stuff like that. Test it with coffee. Alright, so let's do it. Alright, so far my VATS accuracy is pretty good though, considering I wasn't able to do my awareness or my 4-opter buff. As you'll notice, I was actually able to get through most of the magazine, only 20 rounds. Pretty darn good. I did change the mods on the armor set to have higher, Oh, I forgot to take overdrive. I was like, why didn't I get my crippled before the headbutt strike? So earlier when I got the crippled before the headbutt strike, I did use overdrive. So that's likely what made the difference here. Alright, we need to restart this because I totally messed it up. But you'll notice too that my VATS accuracy still isn't as good as it could be. And that's because of not having the 4-opter buff. And with Rapid, we have lower VATS accuracy, so we're generally just not as good as it could be. We definitely need that. I recommend it with the quad Rapid Elder's Mark to land your shots. Now I have to set this up again, gang. We just need to run down there, but unfortunately because of the way Bethesda is Bethesda, I can't show you it, but it's all over YouTube if you want to figure out how to do this. So, but yeah, they just have a clause in their terms of service where they can ban us for live streaming certain things. And I'm not doing this to show you guys how to exploit the snake right now. I'm just doing this to test, to be able to test the build and test certain things. And so I'm not teaching you guys an exploit. I'm not here for that. I'm not condoning exploiting. I'm just here to show you guys what the changes are on the Elder's Mark. Would quad be better now? Quad is better currently in game, but I have a sneaky suspicion that Furious will end up being better here because of just how much quad is affected right now. We don't have that higher fire rate. It's not as beneficial to have all that rounds because we're running through all of our AP now with the hardened receiver. All right, so we're down here. Alright, so we'll take overdrive and try again. But yeah, you'll notice that I don't have as good VATS accuracy. Currently I do, because I'm close enough to the snake. But when the snake starts forcing me to jump around and, you know, the scream attack forcing me to like... See, I got the cripple here before the headbutt strike, thanks to that overdrive, which is nice. But... yeah, when the snake starts attacking and pushing me towards the end of the platform there, I'll have to, see, I only had 63% VATS accuracy there. It means I'm not landing all my shots, which isn't so great. Like, I could be doing better times here, but like I said, I'm not able to use my 4-opter buff because of the nature of PTS right now. It's just not working. I'm not able to activate my camp with the 4-opter buff. So I'm doing my best with what I have access to. Alright, so we're pretty close to getting it. We're at 1 minute. It's almost dead. See the sliver of health? We're at 1 minute. So we're at 1 minute times on the snake with this setup. I didn't have to use a lick of coffee still. Is it an infinite VATS build? Almost. We did get through like 90% of the magazine, which was really nice to see. We got through 90% of the magazine still, so having an AP cost of only 8 isn't so bad. I'm going to jump into lava again to reset and try a different approach. I'm going to change the mods on the Elder's Mark here. We're going to talk a little bit about the mods that I currently have changed. So on the actual build guide of no coffee, no chems, no problem for 1 minute solo times, it has the standard receiver. Unfortunately, this can no longer be used if you're expecting 1 minute times. You're going to be just under 2 minutes. My best time with it off stream, testing it before I fired up the stream, I tested it exactly like the current build guide. I got a minute 25, minute 30s, around there you're going to be at. So, I mean, that's still acceptable because you need just a 2-minute time for the best rewards. But most people, that's too long for them. People that are farming it want a 1-minute time. And so we have to jump up to harden. This brings up our AP cost. As you can see, with standard, we have an AP cost of 7. With harden, we have an AP cost of 8. I still have really good AP density on this build, and if you run my unyielding version, it's a lot better. There's more AP than the Elder's Mark even needs. There's like 700 AP on that build. So, depends what version of it you have as well. I have one with 500, and even that one is still plenty of max AP. Let's put Furious on this thing. And we're going to change, we need to change this because we'll be reloading far too often with the medium quickie jack. So we're going to go to large quickie jack. Actually, I don't know. Maybe we should do large drum. Large quickie jack is still only 75. It's only 25 more rounds. We should go to large. We'll just do large. This will be a slower reload, but we'll see. Let's repair it. Oof. Yeah, I don't like how long that is, but we'll see what it can do. My camp's got the VATS buff. Oh, neat. I don't want to use it now, though, just because we're comparing it to the quad run. And I didn't use it on the quad run, so... If you freeze the snake, you may not activate taking one for the team. That's true, Coyote. That's why you don't want to do that. I had someone doing that on stream the other night, and I wasn't getting my taking one for the team buff, so I had to ask them to, like, stop. Because our times went from 30 seconds to 45, 47, 50 seconds as a team of 4. Okay, that should be enough. Let's, so we're pre-stacked here. We can only pre-stack to 4? That's unfortunate. Should be enough. We do have higher base damage with the Furious, so let's make sure we have ammo, though. Alright, so once again, I have to push you guys on the resume screen to set this up so that I don't get banned again, just for testing. And we're going to test Furious against the quad. AP on this build is 530, and I'm not even bloodied. That's awesome. I really do throw a lot of AP at my builds because they're all VATS builds, you know? And for the most effective VATS build, you want the most amount of AP density. It never hurts to have more than you need. I believe you get more VATS accuracy if you switch to the compensator. That could be Patient Potato. I'll see. I'll check it out. But after this run, what I'm going to do is I'm going to then go to Finn's camp and do the 4-opter buff thingy so that I have the buff, and we'll try again because my VATS accuracy was far too low with the quad run, and I feel like it could still break 1 minute times. It could be under 1 minute times with the 4-opter buff. So, alright, we're down here. Gonna make sure that we still have company tea and blight soup. Yep, we do. Okay. Make sure we have overdrive. And we currently are using a Furious Elder's Mark this time around with rapid VATS optimized conductors and the hardened receiver with the large drum magazine. So the unfortunate thing is we have much slower reloads, but we should be hitting a lot harder, so it should make up for it. Plus, with the amount of times we'll have to reload, we should never actually run out of AP. Yeah, see, we're not running out of AP here. It almost got crippled. Alright, it did get crippled before the headbutt. That's great. That's good news. But these reloads, I think, are gonna kill the time. So we're at the same time, and we have a little bit more health here. It's performing about the same as the quad, which I suspected would be happening because quad and Furious do perform about the same. Quad, how it reaches the same times as Furious, even without having the extra base damage, is you just have a lot more bullets spraying without interruption, without the reload. So it's basically death by volley of bullets at that point. Whereas Furious is really relying on that high damage that you get from Furious and the extra. What are the odds that they patch this? There's so many ways to do it, my guy. I don't think you ever have to worry. There's a way that's unpatchable right now. It's just part of the coding of the game, and it's not an exploit. So I don't think you have to worry about it. They also did patch it before and then broke it. So they patched one method. There's two methods. One's basically unpatchable. It's just because of the nature of the game and how it's coded. The other one is patchable. It did get patched. It works again. Never mind, you can't use the VATS buff even if it's in the camp. Are you kidding me? Okay, pointless then. We won't go do the VATS buff. Alright, so yeah, I mean, Furious, whether you're running the Furious or the quad, they're going to perform the same. Wrong weapon. Still wrong weapon. Okay. Yeah, they're going to perform the same. From my video up on the channel, Furious versus quad, what we saw was that Furious and quad average the same times. The difference is quad, because it reloads far less, I'm able to more consistently do consistent DPS. What I mean by consistent is that run after run, the times are almost exactly identical. As long as I'm performing the tactics in the same manner, quad will get 48 seconds, and then the next run will be 50 seconds, and then the next run will be 48 seconds, and then the next run will be 50 seconds. And it's always like super tight. It's consistent in that way. Whereas with Furious, I'm reloading so often that it puts me in a predicament where I can be reloading at times where I don't want to be reloading, like during the headbutt strike. And the headbutt strike can mess up your reload and cause you to restart the reload process, which just adds time. And what we see with Furious is that, yes, it can reach the same DPS and times as quad, but the consistency is way off. Whereas I mentioned quad, you get like a 2-second consistency. It's within 5 seconds. With Furious, it's like 15 seconds. You'll be sometimes at a minute, you'll be sometimes at a minute 15, you'll be sometimes at a minute 18, you'll sometimes be under a minute. It is literally all over the place, but it's generally around 1 minute. So that's the biggest problem that I have with Furious, and the slower reloads. I absolutely hate having to put the large drum magazine on this thing to make it compete with quad. Quad is just such a quality of life because you can run the medium quick eject drum, still have 200 rounds, and it's a quick eject. You literally just pop it out, pop it back in, you know, half a second at most, it's done. And you're dumping rounds again. It just feels more fluid. It feels more consistent. The times reflect that because the times are more consistent and tighter. Personally, for me, I see myself still using the quad version of this build. I can see other players gravitating to Furious with needing to up the receiver to hardened and getting that higher AP cost and it running through your VATs more. We did see that I still had enough AP density, but you're going to have around 500 max AP. As you can see, I'm at 518 now. For whatever reason, I dropped from 530 to 518. I'm not sure why that is. Probably my mutations. I think I had popped mutations earlier because I had to reset my mutations. And now I most likely have, minus 12 AP from Scaly Skin. So that's it. That's what made the difference there. But we're at 500 max AP, which is what my usual, infinite VATS builds sit at, is around there. So this build I do have linked in the description. It is the no coffee, no chems, no problem build. I am forced to use it with overdrive now to get the cripple before the headbutt strike. So keep that in mind. It is going to be a no coffee, no problem build, but we have to do at least overdrive now. Not too bad though. Overdrive's super easy to get. If you didn't know, you can farm it pretty easily. You just server hop the vendor at Highway Town. There is a medicine vendor in there, and he always has it. He has it between like 1 and 4. Sometimes he won't, but it's rare. I generally see like between 2 and 4 all the time. So I'm always server hopping this location to farm overdrive that way, and you just buy it for caps. But it is something that I think is get rid of that gunslinger 3-star. Prevent that max. No, you want your weak spot damage. You definitely want this on the build. But anyways, like we're seeing here, we're getting the same times. The only big changes we had to make was having the hardened receiver on the weapon instead of standard receiver. So it is definitely... Bulletstorm can't build with Furious. It totally can, my guy. It absolutely can. Look at the bottom of the screen, okay? We're at 2 stacks. But, oh, I see what you mean. You mean drop... You don't mean drop Gunslinger. You mean drop the bringing the big guns, because your Bulletstorm stack limit is doubled. Correct. You would be correct if you were referring to the right card. That this is useless on the Furious. You won't reach the full stack value. You absolutely can with the quad though. So we were using quad. Quad is Bulletstorm. No, you can use Bulletstorm with Furious. So watch. I'll prove it right now. So this is the Furious. As you can see, it has Furious. Watch the bottom of the screen, okay? That's 1 stack of Bulletstorm. That's 2 stacks of Bulletstorm. That's 3 stacks. Now, if you want to unlock the ability for Bulletstorm to keep going up on Furious, you have to drop the 10 stacks. You don't have to. You don't have to. You can drop Class Freak if you're going to pop mutations, and then you can fit Quick Hands. And then when Quick Hands procs, you will be able to keep getting that number up. You will be able to keep getting your Bulletstorm stacks up. So yeah, that's how that works. But I will say Quick Hands isn't really the method I would want to do with this. You would want to be a ghoul using Wild West Hands because it procs a lot more. It's a lot more useful in that sense. I wouldn't be doing this with the Furious. Yeah, see, Quick Hands never procs. It's so unfortunate. It'd be so nice if it had a higher proc. A proc chance like Wild West Hands is 36%. It like never procs as a human. My god, it's literally gonna take like 7 business days for this stupid perk to proc! Holy shit. Okay, never mind. We're not gonna waste more time with that. But yeah, as a ghoul, you do have 36% chance for the Wild West Hands card to proc, which is the same idea here as Quick Hands. And when this procs, you don't lose Bulletstorm stacks on reload. So it allows the Furious to build even higher Bulletstorm stacks. So that's why you would want to run it like this, but only if you can manage dropping the... I don't know why you're telling me not to use the 3-star Gunslinger. This is weak spot damage. You want this, my guy. It's not a sniper perk. And you do want this. This is not a sniper perk. This is Gunslinger Expert. This is ranged weak spot damage per onslaught stack, and it gives you +3 to your max stacks. This also adds +3 to your max stacks. This adds 5 max stacks. This is set up correctly, my guy. It's not for sniper. The one you're talking about, though, you are right. There is one for the sniper, but it's not the ones that I have equipped. What about 2-shot? 2-shot got nerfed and is no longer working like it did a few weeks ago. I can show you which one you're talking about, but you're mistaken. It's not... I don't have it equipped. The other 3? Are you just saying anything? This is the one you're talking about. Gain onslaught stacks over time and spend them on attacks. I don't have this equipped. I don't even own the card. This is for snipers. So I would recommend that you pay attention to the build guides. Pay attention to, like, you know, how this stuff works. Learn it in and out. Figure it out. What you can do is a neat trick. Let me show you something right now, my guy. Instead of blasting the chat with telling me what to do and being wrong about it, check this out. You're going to learn something here. You can actually pre-stack your Furious. I'm going to unequip the Gunslinger perk like you want me to, even though I know it's not a good idea. We're going to equip the perk that you don't want me to equip. It's called Gunslinger Master. Watch what happens. Look at my stack counter. It's going up. Furious is going up on its own. Now, as far as I know, I think I have to be shooting at an enemy for it to stick. But I can't remember, to be honest. I haven't done this trick in a long time. But you can actually pre-stack your Furious this way. But it's not super efficient because then you have to then just like unequip the card and re-equip the card. No, I'm not fighting with you, my guy, but you're arguing nonsense in the chat. So yeah, we have Gunslinger Master, so that brought up our Furious stacks to 30 right off the bat, right? And now we're going to unequip the card, but it's going to start dropping down. But see, it's going to start dropping down, but it's higher than it would reach normally. So at this point, you have to basically quickly swap out that card again. Obviously, I didn't do it fast enough here because I was talking about it, but I'm going to re-equip Gunslinger. We're going to get that stack all the way back up to 30. And I'm going to drop Gunslinger Master and re-swap in... What is it? Gunslinger? I'm not fast at this. You have to be fast at it. Orange Cowboys, who showed me how to do this, okay? And he's a lot faster than me at swapping the cards. But basically, once you're shooting at an enemy, you won't keep losing those Furious stacks. But see how they're dropping right now? Because they drop if you're not shooting at an enemy. So that's one way you can actually start a fight with higher Furious Storm stacks, similar to pre-stacking Bulletstorm. So pretty interesting. Try on infested bosses. They have far more health than normal. Okay, let's go try. Wait, why am I heavy now? So yeah, that one little tweak brings the weapon right back to a 1 minute time, just going from standard receiver to hardened receiver. You'll have to do the 4-opter buff though. I mean, you don't have to. Clearly, I got the 1 minute time without the 4-opter buff, but I mean, if you want to see the best results, just do it. Just do your camp buffs. What about faster reload perk? See, I wish I could put the faster reload perk, but we need the VATS action point cost. That gives us minus 35% AP cost. AP cost is what determines how long you stay in VATS. The longer you stay in VATS, the longer you can do crit damage, the lower the times are going to be. So we need that VATS optimized perk. That's one that cannot change. Can the Tesla cannon build be used to solo the snake in a decent time? Yes. I did show on stream before the 2-shot nerf, in case the 2-shot nerf ever got nerfed, for anyone using that build, that version of the build, to just swap 2-shot to quad. And I was still able to get the same times with quad. So just put quad. If you're running that version of the build, just put quad on it, my guy, and you're all set. I need to figure out, hang on, give me a sec, gang. I'll answer the chat again here in a moment. I just need to fix my carry weight so that I can leave the raid and go to an infestation here. What is going on? Why am I so heavy? Oh. Yeah, that probably didn't help. There we go. Oh, there's no infestation bosses. Well, I would go. But yeah, we can't. Let's go kill Snaky Boy. We're gonna do it again with the quad. I'm gonna switch it back to quad because I can't with this slow reload. I'm guessing the Elder's Mark will be less efficient after this update. Sort of, yeah, but not really. You just have to make a small change to the weapon, like I mentioned. I'm still getting the same times on stream here. So don't think, if you see people like making videos like Elder's Mark nerf, it's just rage bait, clickbait. Yes, it did get a slight nerf, where if you're going to use it with standard receiver, it's going to get about 20 seconds slower times, 25 seconds slower times. If you switch it to hardened, we're still able to get a very decent infinite VATS, where I'm able to run through almost the whole magazine. I only have like 20 rounds left in the magazine when I reload and I run out of AP. So no, it's still very efficient. It's still going to be a beast. But it does look like they're trying to adjust it a little bit. But we're still able to get 1 minute times. Yo, would the ghoul build be slightly faster? Slightly. Yes, slightly. It gets the same times as my bloodied build, which currently sits at about 45 seconds. But it's going to be closer to 1 minute if you make the changes on the weapon, like putting the hardened receiver. Is Fixer better now? No. No, Fixer still isn't better. It's still pretty good, but it's not better. It's still really good though. Like I'm not telling you not to use the Fixer. You can absolutely run the Fixer. But the Fixer just has a very low mag capacity, and Quad doesn't improve it enough. And Furious just makes it so that you're reloading a lot, especially with that weapon. It's still good. It's slightly less efficient, but minor tweaks to the build bring it back in line to where it was. So we're going to do this snake, and like I said, I don't have the best VATS accuracy because I don't have my VATS accuracy buff, and I do need it with the rapid mod on this build, but I'm unable to use it because of the nature of things in PTS right now. We can't use our camp. Alright. So same thing here. We're going to use Company T. So we didn't use any coffee earlier, and I did say I was going to do a run with 1 can coffee. That's going to be this run. We did it just fine earlier. We got, you know, a minute with no coffee. So don't think that you need this. I just want to see how it performs with the 1 can coffee. So we're going to do 1 can coffee. Oh, shoot. I started without reloading. I just had a few rounds. That's unfortunate. Hopefully I still get the cripple before the headbutt. No, I messed it up. It's okay. We still got the cripple, but it wasn't as soon as it could have been. See, it's still really good in VATS. It's still, like, efficient. But, yeah, not as much as it could be with that 7 AP cost. I have no idea where the tail came down at, so I have no idea if I'm, like, walking into the lava right now. And yeah, that 30% VATS accuracy is not helping us at all. We're not landing most of our shots here, so if I had my VATS accuracy buff, we'd be a lot better off. So yeah, 123. We would have been closer to the minute mark if I had not missed so many shots. We definitely did better earlier. Because the snake only had a sliver of health earlier, and we were at the minute mark. $33,000 XP? That's not right. I hope they didn't nerf the freaking XP down here. It's usually around 100,000. I didn't see any mentions about XP changes in the raids in the patch notes. So that's kind of weird. It could just be PTS. PTS has weird things going on. But this is concerning. 30,000 XP to fight the snake is concerning. That's gonna kill it for some people. if this comes to live. I'm not saying it will. It's not mentioned in the patch notes that this change happened. They love not telling us about a lot of nerfs. Yeah, I know what you mean. That is very concerning. I would say this is the biggest nerf they've ever done if they nerf this, because this is what everyone farms for XP. That's way bigger of a nerf than the Elder's Mark nerf. Holy moly. That's not good. I'm gonna have to discuss this with the Orange Cowboy and see what he thinks. I like to bounce ideas off of him. Oh no. Oh, you're right. You're right, CJC. I don't have Class Freak, but it wouldn't affect my stats that much. It wouldn't affect my stats that much. But I'm also not bloodied here. I'm not in unyielding. Let me just check some things here about the build. This isn't an XP build, so I'm not expecting it to get tons of XP, but 30,000 is a lot lower than I was expecting. Class Freak is huge. It's really not. We actually run some builds without it completely and tank the negatives. It's not that big of a deal. I'll show you what those negatives are. Minus 50 HP. Minus 60, minus 4 strength. Minus 4 strength. Minus 4 intelligence. That could be one, but it's not crazy. Minus 50 AP. These stats are really nothing. XP is lame. Laney Lena, XP isn't lame. It's how you get through the season. It's how you level up fast. It's how you get through the season fast. It's not for everyone, so if you think that it's lame, that's okay. You can think that. But no, it's definitely not lame for everyone. Let's have a look at, another thing is you don't need to run Class Freak if you don't want to. If you can pop mutations, I recommend popping mutations because then you don't have to deal with any of the negative side effects and you have access to food buffs on both sides of the mutation spectrum, meaning you can run herbivore food buffs as a carnivore and you can run the carnivore carry weight buffs as a herbivore. So if you can swing it, if you can craft it, don't run Class Freak. I call it training wheels for a build. Because on my main character on Xbox, I do not run Class Freak. I actually just tank the negatives now, but that's because I'm a ghoul. It doesn't really matter so much. But with my human version of the build, I was crafting mutations hourly because you can use them and consume them hourly. It's like a buff. It has a timer. They last 1 hour. So this actually opens up 3 points on the build to further optimize your build. But not every build needs it, so it's also just a quality of life thing, so don't look at it like what I said, training wheels on a build being anything negative. It's just not the most optimized way to run your build. Because, yeah, I'll show you what that means here, an example of that. We're going to look at the herbivore mutation. I think I actually have it popped right now. Yeah, I do. Herbivore mutation, okay? I popped it because I needed extra carry weight to get me out of a bind earlier, okay? And because I'm a herbivore, by consuming the herbivore mutation, it suppresses the negative effects of the mutations. It does this to all mutations if you consume all your mutations, meaning you only get the positive side effects of the mutations for that hour. Now you won't get 100% of the food buffs, but look, I'm a herbivore and And smoked mylark fillet says it'll give me 75 carry weight. That's how I fixed my carry weight fast earlier. It got me out of a bind popping my herbivore mutation. It allows you access to both sides of the mutation spectrum in terms of foods. So I can even use stuff like cooked soft shell meat to bring up my AP. Look at my AP, it's at 518. This is a meat buff that typically doesn't work with herbivore. I'm going to consume it, we're at 538. I'm going to do the same thing with fried roach on a stick. Now this will bring up my AP to 568. We're going to have, you know, stuff like hot dog we can do. We can also do pemmican. This will also affect AP. We're up to 577 now. We're encroaching on 600. You know, 592. So it's neat. Once you learn that, you really start to experiment and play with your mutations and which ones you can get away with not having to suppress and which ones you can get away with or which ones you absolutely have to suppress. And then you can drop class streak from the build and it opens up 3 points under luck for anything else you want to run. Well, let's see if we have any infestations. I'd like to go try the infestation bosses, if there's any. We might have to go to private, though. AP is herbivore. AP is pro. We need AP. If you knew about AP, you would know that carnivore has the best AP buffs. You are able to reach up to 1000 max AP as a carnivore without nocturnal mods. So that's where the rubber meets the road with AP builds, is the carnivore builds. That's why I'm a carnivore on my main character on PC. Everything is just better. You have more carry weight, you have more AP density. For infinite VATS builds, it's everything. Plus I can pop my carnivore mutation and do the opposite of what I just showed you, where I can take advantage of Blight Soup, which is a herbivore buff that increases crit damage. So I can use that in that sense and still get my crit damage. Alright, so I'm in private world. I just want to see if there's any infestation bosses here or not. Like what the flip? Can we get one to spawn? Yeah, the Elder's Mark still feels really good. I dare say, though, that LMG is going to overtake it. I mean, currently in-game, in the live game, not the PTS, Elder's Mark is still better than the LMG because it'll break 50-second times. It can be at a 45-second time with the Elder's Mark currently on the snake. And still be infinite and not demand like a ton of buffs or even AP buffs. It doesn't need anything to sustain its AP or to stay in VATS. It doesn't need any help staying in VATS. It is definitely the most effective tactic for commando currently. But you know what? A lot of people like running the LMG as a commando, and you technically can. It does use 5.56 and has access to 45 too. And Bethesda talked about it being sort of a hybrid heavy commando, which is really interesting, I find, because we do have a shotgun, a heavy hybrid shotgun being the Pepper Shaker, where it benefits from the heavy gunner class and shotgunner perks. So I'll have to do a bit of testing to see if we can really run the LMG as a commando with commando perks. But I'm not 100% sure if we can. Like, I don't know if it'll still get perks from or bonuses from what's it called? Enforcer. This is a very important one for crippling, for example, because I don't know if it'll count as a small gun. I don't think it will, even if we're using a smaller caliber like 45. I don't think it will. I think it'll still count as a heavy. So it's interesting. I have some testing to do. But yeah, I think a lot of people are going to migrate to the LMG. Elder's Mark is still good. I do have pretty low intelligence. Yeah, I have intelligence of 1. Okay, that's probably why my intelligence was so bad. Yeah, this isn't an XP build. So that's why. Alright. Then maybe we can just, like, ignore my little freak out I had at that 30k XP. Alright, gang, let's just ignore that. I have 1 intelligence. Oh my god. Well, yeah, I know it says that the LNG is a heavy. It's just when Bethesda introduced the new receivers, when they made it, because it used to only use 308, and when they brought in the new receivers for it, it gave it access to 5.56 and 45. And in the patch notes, they were heavily implying you could run this as a commando, that it would be a hybrid heavy commando. And so I don't think it can benefit from Enforcer, but like I said, I would have to test it in order to know for sure. I'm just throwing that out there, just to conversate. It would be really neat if it did. Like, if you could run 5.56 or 45, and then you could get benefits from, like, Guns and Bullets 3 or the Small Guns bobblehead, that would be awesome. But yeah, it does say non-heavy guns, and the problem with the LMG is even if you put 5.56 or 45, I did notice it still says it's a heavy gun. So I was wondering if maybe we change the receiver to 5.56, if it'll say it's a commando or like a small gun, small arms or something, but no, it still says heavy guns. So how are we gonna get these infestations to proc before next Tuesday? Finn, how are we gonna do it? I mean, we're still getting 1 minute times with the Elder's Mark. We just had to make tweaks, you know what I mean? Don't run to the clickbait and the rage bait videos. Some people are definitely going to be farming engagement, saying stuff like Elder's Mark, huge nerf and stuff like that. It's a small nerf, but it's not a substantial nerf. We're still getting 1 minute times with it. It just requires one small tweak. It's still capable of staying in VATS for the majority of the magazine, like 90% of the magazine. So definitely take whatever you see in the next coming weeks with a grain of salt, gang. I don't think we're gonna get an infestation, Finn. I just think it's the nature of things, because we're looking for it, because we want one for the stream. It's just not gonna happen. And I teleported to the worst place on Earth because there's like 10 million ghouls here I forgot about. The biggest difference right now, I'll show you guys in the Elder's Mark's performance. We got two right now. We got two Tommy guns here. We're gonna see something. They both have quad and rapid. So this one has the quad rapid mod. This one has the quad rapid. The curse effect improved the damage output of this weapon, mostly by increasing its fire rate. That was the biggest difference, okay? It wasn't the fact that it did a little bit, like 15% extra damage. That was additive damage, does nothing for you really. When it was multiplicative, yes, it did a lot more for you. But being that it was changed to additive, it doesn't do much for you now. The biggest difference that's gone is the fire rate. We no longer have that 25% increase in base fire rate. So listen to the fire rate of the non-elders. Right? Now compare that to the Elder's Mark now. It's firing exactly the same. Before, or currently in the live game, quad with rapid on an Elder's Mark fires a lot faster than the standard Tommy gun. You hear it. It's an audible difference. There's no longer that difference. So to make up for that DPS difference, I had to change the receiver to hardened. That's all I did. So it's not that big of a nerf. You know what I mean? You can still run this next update. You don't have to switch to whatever someone said in the chat, whistle in the dark. I think that's pretty drastic. You just make one small change, all is good in the neighborhood. I dare say that people are probably trying to like come up with like new metas, if anything, which is okay. That's fine too. But yeah, it's not that deep. It's not that big of a nerf is what I'm saying. Maybe Red Terror will go hard AF. Probably. You will be able to change legendaries on named weapons that are locked, that don't let you change them currently. You will be able to change them, so that's really neat. Another neat thing is the Elder's Mark comes with Tenderizer, which means you can drop it on the build, which I actually kind of prefer, because then it lets me perk other perks. Like, for example, I'm able to squeeze in Fast Fighter for a 50% bonus reload speed. So, because the Elder's Mark now has Tormentor on the weapon, grants... Oh, sorry, Tenderizer. I get those two mixed up all the time. Oh, shoot! I don't have my Tormentor. Okay, we need to do another test. I mixed it up. I got mixed up between Tormentor and Tenderizer. It's back to the drawing board, gang. Holy shoot. This is a big deal. I get those two cards mixed up all the time, so I'm not surprised at all that I mixed that up. I'm so sorry, gang. All right, let's make sure we have the right cards on this time. Okay, so what I'll do is I'll actually drop Number Cruncher, and we'll pick up Tormentor. There we go. So it's actually this card that is equipped on the Elder's Mark. So Tenderizer. Each attack makes your target take increased damage. So we can drop this in favor of basically anything else, which is neat. Well, what am I going to put in place though? I don't really know. Maybe some quality of life stuff like Travel Agent, because there's nothing really that we can pick up damage wise. We're not a ghoul. We could if we were a ghoul. So I guess we'll do some quality of life perks and maybe inspirational for more XP. Okay, let's try again. I'm gonna switch, I'm gonna have to clear EN06 here first. I'm just gonna use my lazy build. Where's my pepper shaker? Oh, it's on me. Alright, so with those changes, let's test it out again. We're gonna knock out EN06 real quick. Alright, I was looking for another pepper shaker that had the crippling mod because with the way that I take down the shield, I use reflective damage. And if you use a weapon that has the crippling perk, it will drop the shield faster through reflective damage. So it'll take a little bit longer without it, but it's okay. It still drops. We'll get it done. This is PTS and it's a bit confusing because it doesn't mirror the live game exactly. It's like 4 months behind your actual progression. So I'm just showing you guys here, I'm not dropping the shield by shooting at it. I'm just dropping the shield by like firing my gun here and there. And EN06 shooting at me. The lazy way. It's lazy, it's a little bit longer, but you know what? It works every single time and that's what's nice about it. But yeah, it would drop faster if I had the crippling mod on the weapon equipped while EN06 is shooting at me and reflecting damage because the shield is counted as a limb and it applies that effect to it. I don't have follow through on. We would be doing more damage if I had follow through, but yeah, I crouched for nothing, I guess. No way! I got it! We almost didn't get it, oh my god! I'm not optimized for this build right now, that's why I didn't change my legendary perk cards, but we still managed to do it. Neat. Alright. No, my weapon's about to break, so we're going to repair that. And I'm going to check why I'm so heavy. There we go. And we're going to set up the snake. So I have to put you guys on resume for this, but we'll set up the snake here in a moment and get it started. I'm so glad I noticed that. I had the wrong perk card unequipped, but yeah, the Elder's Mark has the Tenderizer. Tenderizer or Tormentor? Geez, it's gonna be a problem. It has Tenderizer. Okay, I need to like write it down on the back of my hand. The problem is that perk card sounds so similar to the other one, Tormentor and Tenderizer, and I always confuse the two. Oh, Finn found a infestation. I just noticed the infestation icon is like orange now. Isn't it green on live? It's green there. Weird. Okay, maybe I'm just colorblind. Alright, we're here. So, what we're gonna do is take a Radaway, take a stim pack thingy. We're gonna take overdrive. Same things as earlier, but I won't do coffee. We just don't need it. We're doing fine. I think I don't have blight soup anymore though. Okay, we'll take blight soup. And we'll pre-stack Bulletstorm to make it comparable to the test we did earlier. How to get the hardened receiver? You gotta scrap a bunch of Tommy guns. The base Tommy gun. Craft level 30 Tommy guns or lower, the lowest level you can, and have the super duper perk on when you craft them, and then scrapped all of them. Okay, we can start with 5 Bulletstorm stacks here. I think I used overdrive. I can't remember. Yeah, we got the cripple right before the headbutt strike again. Beautiful. I'm gonna let my AP regen here a little bit. Oh, shoot, I was targeting the head. Darn tail had to mess up my shots. Also, my VATS accuracy is really bad. Okay, this is way, way worse than earlier. Look at this. We're at a minute in. It still has a third of the health. That is strange. Could be because we're in private. Like I said on stream the other night, I do not like testing the snake in private world because there's so much inconsistency. We're gonna try again. But that makes no sense. We didn't have Tormentor on earlier. And now we're doing less damage. Is it because I dropped Number Cruncher? Can't be doing that much for us. But also what's not helping, like I mentioned, is I just don't have the VATS accuracy because we can't use our camp buffs. Our camp buffs aren't working right now in PTS. Your camps basically don't work at all. You can't do any modifications to your camp in PTS, and it's because of the pets update thingy. So I'm doing what I can, but my VATS accuracy is really bad. Because I need it with this build, with this weapon. Having the rapid mod on there lowers your VATS accuracy, and it already has a lower range. I'm also gonna double check my onslaught perks because I did mess around with that earlier, guys. Remember? I did mess around with that earlier. So let's run it. Could just be the PTS private server. We got consistent times earlier in the public world PTS. Okay, wow, I got it a lot sooner this time. That's what I mean, like, this is strange. Shoot, I'm way too far. Alright, we're going for the kill. 1 minute, 2 seconds. Elder's Mark nerf where? I don't see it. Elder's Mark is still the Infinite VATS Commando King. But yeah, I do need to fix my intelligence on this build. This is not good. 39,000 XP is not good. But yeah, see how the difference is here with this run? Kind of strange, right? PTS private worlds aren't great for testing. Because sometimes I feel like it's almost like there's just some hidden effect or something's getting nerfed where I'm doing a lot less damage. But in the public version of the PTS, no problems. We get consistency. So, and that's not always the case either. Sometimes we're doing a lot more damage in the public version because one time they introduced a bug where we were doing like 10k DPS with any weapon, like just right off rip. Have you checked if the cards stack with the weapon or if it just replaces the other misclass? I'm gonna say off the top of my head, just from experience with how Bethesda operates, it won't stack. It could. It might stack. We'll check here in a minute. We'll see if I can equip it and see it in the Pip-Boy twice. Or see... Sorry, I keep burping. We'll see if the effect goes up somehow. Wait a sec. Was it really Number Cruncher? There's no way the 12% extra damage we're getting. No, the AP cost isn't 6 on Minigat, it's 8. Okay, so we do have Tormentor there. 20% damage per crippled limb your target has. Let's put on the effect. Let's put... Wait, is it Tormentor? No, it's Tenderizer. Oh my god, I just keep getting them mixed up. Oh my god. I'll be okay, gang. I'll make it. I promise. Okay, so we have Tenderizer on there. Let's try to find it in the stats, see if anything changes here. Tenderizer doesn't show up. It's gonna be really hard to tell. It's gonna be hard to tell because we can't see the effect in the Pip-Boy. I'd have to go and just start shooting at limbs and seeing the numbers and then unequipping and re-equipping the card. Which we can do. Let's shoot at this arm here. We're around 500. 700. 500. 500. Okay, let's take off... Tenderizer? Yeah, it's Tenderizer. Oh, those numbers were lower. It was like 315. Maybe it does stack. GG Green Ghost, thank you for the 10 jewels. Let's go find this infestation. Finn found an infestation, so we'll go. Need some 0 legendary perk card builds? We have them on the channel. You have to look for them, my guy. But in reality, you just need to be leveling up your perk cards and working towards that. That's going to benefit you in the long run. I had no bullets in my gun. What are we seeing here? 442? Let me use him to test here. We're gonna re-equip Tenderizer. I might die here. Oh wow. No, I'm not gonna die. Okay, cool. Let's re-equip his... Let's shoot his leg again with the Tenderizer. Nah, we're still at the 400s. It's not stacking. I'm gonna try crippling his right arm here. It's taking forever though. My god. $339, $338, $390. No, it's the same. But we don't have a crippled limb yet. We need a crippled limb. Oh, the head is crippled. No, unfortunately, it doesn't look like it's stacking. Holy shit, he's tanky. What's even going on? I think they probably did this on purpose so that, because players have been complaining that they show up and it's dead. You know what I mean? So it looks like they made them tankier. Like a lot tankier. Which is definitely not a bad thing. I'm all for this. Holy shit, he's tanky. He must have, like, so much HP points. Probably higher than the snake. Shoot. Way tankier. Thanks for saving me that infestation, Finn. That was a lot tankier than I was expecting. Really interesting results we saw here today on stream. As far as the Elder's Mark goes, if you're wondering if it's nerfed or not, it took a very small nerf to its fire rate because of the cursed effect not being there anymore and losing the 15% bonus damage from the cursed effect. But we're able to bring that back up through the harden receiver on the weapon. We applied the harden receiver. It's literally all that changes on the build. We're able to get those 1 minute times again. Because without it, with the standard receiver, we were getting 1 minute times, and now we're still able to. The only difference is the AP cost goes up. And when, with the nerf happening, with them removing the cursed effect, I went from 1 minute times with the standard receiver down to like a minute 30 with the standard receiver. So hardened brings us back to those 1 minute times with the added base damage. Comes at the cost of AP, but it's not bad. It's not like the armor piercing. Armor piercing brings us all the way to 9, which is really hard for the Elder's Mark to manage. But 8 is only 1 point more, and it's not bad. As we saw here on stream, I'm able to sit through an entire magazine in VATS and still get 1 minute snakes. No problem. So I think this will still be a really solid weapon for those who are using it. If you are wondering, or if you've seen some commenters on Reddit or stuff say the Elder's Mark is nerfed now because it doesn't have its cursed effect, they're not wrong entirely. It did take a small nerf, but don't take it with a grain of salt, I guess. Don't look into it too deeply. It's not that big of a deal. It's not a big nerf. We're able to tweak some things and get that DPS back out of it, no problem. So when that happens, when this change goes through, I will be updating the build guides, so keep an eye on the channel. But for now, I don't see this change coming into the game anytime soon, as this is only planned for the next update. So who knows, though, they might implement this tomorrow, you know, like we never know with Bethesda. Sometimes they'll implement things that are current in PTS before the next patch, and so it all depends when this happens. I don't know when this will happen, when this will go through, but don't worry about it, is all I have to tell you. If you see some people like, you know, saying the Elder's Mark is done for, it's no longer any good, well, I guess they don't know how to put a build together or set things up right, or fix a weapon after it's nerfed. It's happened many times before here on the channel, and we always find a way around it. We're always able to fix it. The only time we weren't able to is with the Gap Plaz, RIP Gap Plaz. They nerfed it so hard. I never saw them go that hard on a nerf before, so it was really sad to see. And now basically no one uses the Gap Plaz, which is really sad. But yeah, this isn't a big nerf. It's pretty minimal. It's still going to operate the same for most people. So definitely keep an eye on the channel. And if you're worried about your Elder's Mark build, I hope this relieved you in some way, because we're still able to get the same performance out of it with one minor tweak. And it's not like I had to change any legendary mods for it. It's just an easy, non-legendary mod tweak that brings this thing right back in line with where it used to perform. So that's going to be it for today's stream, gang. I'm Miss Glass. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. GG! I left our Discord link in the description if you want to find a community to play with. I also left our membership link, but there's no obligation to join the Glass Gang to join our Discord. And thank you so much for watching.